Jay, when you look at all your career highlights and all the physiques that you presented, and you had different physiques every now and then. If you would have to choose one particular year where you would say that was my absolute best, and I'm not counting now 2009. Let's not talk about 2009 for a second. Other than 2009, what do you think was the best year you presented?
Oh,
The
one.
best physique? Oh, one, right? Because I think the same. I still, to this day, I look at videos every now and then I was like, fuck, because I was standing on stage, so I couldn't really see what you look like. But you know, when you stand in the lineup and you see somebody gets a call out and you're not, and you're standing there and you watch the call out, you'd be like, God damn, he's ripped.
Yeah.
I think that was, condition-wise, I think that was your absolute best.
Yeah, and the thing, Dennis, with that is like
There you go.
for the first time, I had detail like I never had in you know, my midsection, like, you know, I was criticized through my career because I was a little wider in the midsection. You know, I had overdeveloped obliques, and I had to kind of offset that with the wider shoulders. And, you know, you and I, our structures allowed us the big shoulders, right? And I just always, like, that was a big goal of mine, was to have kind of a flat midsection. And I had really sunken abs in that contest. I feel like I got too big. Does that make sense?
Oh, man, I totally feel you on that.
So the one thing that I look back, and people always ask, what do you regret, or what would you change? And the truth is that I chased Ronnie for the size because, you know, that's what it took to overcome. And then in 06 I won. But back in 01 and 2009, I remember just starving for the shows. Like, I would eat the meal and be like, damn, that's all I have.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, I remember 07, 08, 09, where it was like every meal was stuffing myself to the point where I just couldn't eat anymore, even during my prep. And looking back and reading, you know, about Chris and what he did, and I don't think he ate that kind of food. You know, we didn't require so much food, and it maybe because the times changed and bodybuilders just need to be bigger. But if I, like, looking at today's bodybuilding, you know, these guys just won't, like, oh, I got to bring my food, I got to do this, or I got to do that. Like, it's just so crazy the amounts of food that everyone thinks they need to eat 300-400 grams of protein. And, you know, I was one of these guys, I had 1,000 grams of carbs. Yeah, when my metabolism was through the roof, but like I could survive on 300-400 grams of protein too. And like, my body was great. So if you look at 01, what did it take for me to look like that? I dieted my ass off. I dieted my ass off. I stayed on a low-calorie diet because I honestly didn't do a lot of cardio for that show, because Chris Aceto was not a cardio guy. He thought it was counterproductive. So he's like, I'd rather you train twice a day with weights and do no cardio and keep the calories just restrictive enough to what you need. So let's take in the bigger meals around your training, which was twice a day plus the breakfast, and let's leave the cardio out. And it brought me the best balance there was. And then, of course, after that, I tried to get bigger because I'm like, oh, I got to be bigger. I got to be big. And I distorted my physique.
It's the same problem I went through. And you just basically just repeated what I said, the exact same words. I tried to chase Ronnie in size, and that was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. You know, and Dexter's the one that benefited from all of that. In my case, because I don't think Dexter is the kind of guy that could get as big as we got. Anyways, you know, Dexter's physique is just a little different, and I don't think, because he's not an eater. And if you're not a big eater, there's no way you can get that big. I don't care what people use. I don't care what they say. If you can't put the food in, there's no way you can get to that size and maintain that size. You know, so.
Right.
And that's why if you're a small eater, you'll probably benefit from not getting too big.
You think people are eating too much food these days?
I don't know. I know I did. And I know I did. And if somebody just has the same mentality that I had back then, thinking, oh, I got to get as big as possible. And at that moment, I didn't think that I'm going to blow my waist all the way out. I thought shit's just going to look the same, just much bigger.
Just gonna go to your pecs and your shoulders.
I
and your legs.
didn't know. I you know, at that point, I was still new to this. You know, I started training back in 1992. You know, I competed the first time in '93.
That's so crazy to me, man.
Yeah, and I had no idea. I don't even know what I was doing. You know, so when I turned pro in '98, everything was still. If I could turn it back right now, I would like right there, couple of more pounds, and that's it. And just get as peeled as possible.